Shalom, shalom. This is Mapaya Shalom on the podium. This is Miles from the Ephraim from Israel. Before I get started, I gotta give all praises and honors to my power Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakadash. Shalom to y'all, my wife, and the buying that tuned into this video. That is peace to the brothers, sisters, and children tuned into this video. So, a couple days ago, I was at work and I was just scrolling on IG and I saw someone that I know. She posted a video of this guy. He's supposed to be a person that helps out women and helps them out with women. And the video they were talking about first, it says how men ain't the prize and men ain't they act like this, not supposed to act like that. And he put out the precept. He said men will be lovers of themselves. He's like, see, men will love themselves only. This and that. Now I will say this: yes, there is no order. The order is flipped. There's men acting like women and women acting like men. 100%. Men of the Lord, they are a prize, right? It's like what Peter says, "We'll make a man worth more gold of fear, right?" But my thing with that was, you try to pull out precepts and not really break it down correctly. Precepts are really break it down correctly, right? So I'm like, man. So there's a lot of people that follow this person. It's a false prophet, right? It's going to really lead a lot of these people, a lot of these women, a lot of other people that follow him into destruction, right? So let's go into the false prophets. The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding, and therefore I hate every false way. That's why there's so many precepts I say, excuse me, Slakia. Here a little, there a little. Read here, read here. You'll be in Revelation. You have to go to Genesis to get the full answer, right? You'll be in Job, and you have to jump from Obadiah or Nehemiah to have a full answer. The point is, you can't just read a precept and have a full answer. You can break it down, but you have to have the precepts, right? You can't read a whole book and have a full answer, understand what that means. You have to go through the precepts to understand, right? That's why people that understand that and read through the precepts, they hate every false way. Because it's very blatant. It's very like the word is like a puzzle, right? And as you start to get more precepts and start putting that puzzle together, you get to see the full picture. The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and 11, it reads, if any man speak, let him speak as an oracle as other power. So if a man's going to speak, if a man's going to pull out precepts, we need to speak as an oracle as a power. The book is not open for private interpretation. So you can't come up with your own doctrine. There's only one doctrine. That's what this Bible says. It's the truth, right? All the other stuff is not the truth, right? If any man minister, let him do it as the ability as the power giveth. The Lord does give some more to more to other peoples, and less to other people. If you're called in that lot to go preach, it's just what it is sometimes, right? The power in all things may be glorified through Yahushua HaMashiach, to whom be praised and dominion forever and ever. So again, doubling down on the main part right here. If any man speak, let him speak of the oracles of power. You need to speak of the oracles of power, right? You can't come up with your own law. You can't come up with your own understanding. That's not how this works. That's not how this go down, right? The book of Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, they speak not according to this word, is because there is no light in them. So just doubling back to what we just said, right? If they're not speaking of the oracles of the power, right? If they're not speaking on the truth, if they're not speaking according to his word, it's because there's no light in them. It's simple. There's no light. It's wicked. It's not something that you be trusted, right? But a lot of people don't have understand of this Bible, so they see someone bring up precepts in the Bible, so they automatically assume that they good people don't understand what they're talking about. Obviously, unless they come by a camp and they look at us like we crazy, but we really we're gonna read it to you uncut. Straight shot, no chaser. And that's why they don't like us, right? It's the book of Matthew chapter 17 verse 15, and it reads, but beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves. So it's even prophets in the ministry that's false prophets, right? And obviously as more time comes, more and more of these people will be shown for who they really are, right? But it's also people in the world. A lot of false prophets in the world. We got to know the pork eating pastors where you'll sit down and have a 3-hour sermon and then go into the kitchen connected to the church and go eat some pork. You know what I'm saying? The big mamas of the church. You got the people in the upper, when that Charagma comes out, right? There's a lot of false prophets out here, right? You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes or thorns or figs or thistles? You can tell by what kind of person it is by the fruits of what they do and how they carry themselves, right? That's any type of any situation, right? That's why that's so prevalent in the precepts. The Lord brings it up a lot. You know men by their fruits, right? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by the fruits ye shall know them. Again, doubling that on the fact by the actions. You'll be able to tell who a person is by their actions and how they carry themselves, their countenance, right? The book of 2 Peter chapter 2. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false prophets among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even deny the Ha'adamah Yahweh, that brought them upon and bring upon themselves swift destruction. It's like I said earlier, there's false prophets everywhere. There's false prophets in the ministry. There's false prophets outside the ministry. False prophets and the churches, these governments, the YouTube people. But that's just what it is, right? That's how the Lord made it. And the Lord, a precept says, the Lord's not a man where you should lie. He's not a man where you should repent, right? He's not a man where he's going to change his mind. His voice is going to come back. His words will come back to him. It's not going to come back void. So it's just what it is. But it says this: these false prophets, they bring upon themselves swift destruction. That's what's going to happen to them. They're going to be destroyed at the end of the day. Some people are created to serve the Lord, and some people are created just to be destroyed. And that's the fact of the matter, right? This is the book of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as shall be false prophets among you who privily. Okay, Slacky. I just brought up the same precept. I didn't realize that. Slacky. I'm Slacky. Just got out of bed, man. Had a long work weekend. Slacky. Forgive me. But, essentially going into these false prophets, you got to understand who you getting this word from, right? Now, that's all the way up to the Lord and the kind of spirit he put on you, as, the spirit of sleep or slumber or understanding, right? And that last precept I have after Jeremiah 23, 23. I go to 2 Corinthians. I'll break that down. Book of Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1, and it reads, Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastor. Simple, destruction unto them. Woe means destruction, so destruction to those people that are that's pushing that word, but not in truth and in the spirit, and being a false prophet, right? Now, another precept says a righteous man will slip within the tongue, but not in the heart. He may mess up, right? But they will come back and fix it. And again, you will be able to tell they're really a righteous man by their fruits, right? Feel me? So I'm not gonna say everyone that messes up is evil, because they might just mess up and slip the tongue, right? Because it's possible. We tell by their fruits, and they come back and they fix it, right? And they dust the dust of the dirt off their shoulder and get up and keep going forward in righteousness and truth. There's another precept: a righteous man falls 7 times. 7 is synonymous with a complete. So a complete amount of times, right? But he gets up, and keeps going, right? Brushes his shoulders off and keep pushing forward in righteousness and truth, right? But again, let's read Jeremiah 23:1 again. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastor, save Ha'adamah Yahweh. Destruction to the false prophets, man. There's going to be destruction to people that follow them too, right? Therefore, thus save Ha'adamah Yahweh, the power of Yasharallah. Yasharallah means Israel. Adawan means Lord. Ha, the power, God, right? Among the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. They have not actually came to help them. They have not given them the righteous food, the real with the precepts, right? And not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you evil of your doings, saith Ha'adamah Yahweh. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them, bring them again into the folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. So, right here it's talking about the Lord's going to visit those false prophets for what they're doing, for what they did wrong, right? Again, for scattering the little ones, right? This says what? Destruction, woe into the passage, right? That's what woe means, destruction. I will gather the remnant of my flock out of the countries. This is the elect, right? I have driven them and will bring them again into their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. This is going how the Lord will gather again the elect, right? It's the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 4 verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. So what I was talking about earlier is this: if you can't pick up whether it's a false prophet, if you don't understand, if you don't have true understanding, or even the false prophets don't believe they're false prophets. They're just teaching, but they're false prophets, right? And they can't pick that up. That's because the Lord has made it that way. He has made them lost. So Adonai Dazah, this lesson was edifying. You know, hey, all praise and honor to my power Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kadash. Shalom to the Akim Makwath, the body that tunes this video. There's peace of brothers, sisters, and children that tunes this video. Shalom.